Hi, my name is Kyra Justice, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make brownies from scratch. The ingredients you'll need is butter, sugar, cocoa powder, eggs, salt, vanilla, all-purpose flour, chocolate chips, and the chocolate chips are optional. But this recipe is found at www.inspiredtaste.net. Step 1. Melt the butter with sugar, salt, and cocoa powder. The best found method to melting your butter with the ingredients is the double boiler method. This is used by most chefs and restaurants that they put a sauté pan down and fill it with water, bring it to a boil, and put a microwave safe or a glass bowl with all the ingredients, like this one right here, over top of the sauté pan. And once the water's come to a boil, it'll melt the butter with the ingredients, and it is supposed to be much better and makes the brownies come out a lot better if you do this rather than the microwave. So I found that information from www.craftingbaking.com, and it tells you how to temper and do the double boiler method. But anyway, to the measurements of the butter, sugar, salt, and cocoa powder, you need 10 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1 and 1/4 cups of granulated sugar, 3/4 cups of 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, and 1/4 rounded teaspoon kosher salt. Step 2. Add vanilla and eggs. The recipe calls for 2 eggs, but if you want chewier brownies, you can always do 1 egg instead of 2. I learned that trick from my aunt, actually, and it calls for 1 tablespoon of vanilla. After those are mixed correctly, you can add your flour. That is step 3, to add 1/2 cup of flour. The flour is very important on what kind you get. The rest of it isn't as specific, but you need all-purpose flour. I didn't really understand that when it called for that. I ended up looking it up, and it said at www.bonappetit.com that all-purpose flour is used for most baking, and if you were to use bread flour, which is basic flour, your brownies would not be normal, because bread flour has a lot more protein than all-purpose flour. So any desserts always have all-purpose flour, which I did not realize. Step 4, baking. This is the step whenever, right beforehand, as you can see, the mixture is going into the pan. You can add your chocolate chips, mix it together in your bowl beforehand, but you will need to bake your brownies for 20 to 25 minutes, and that can vary, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And your oven can be set on 325 degrees Fahrenheit. As far as the baking pans go, if you are serving more than 16 people, or if you want more than 1 brownie for each person, you'll have to double all of these. All of these ingredients will be doubled just to make 32 brownies, if the recipe obviously makes 16. So baking time, I know we talked about 20 to 25 minutes, but if you use a pan like this that already have the brownies squared off, baking time will be a lot less, and I learned that the hard way. They ended up burning on me, which was not fun at all. When you put time and effort into something and it burns, it's not fun. But if you use a pan like this, that is just normal, and you'll just have like an inch or a 1/2 inch of batter in there, then the standard is 20 to 25 minutes. So I just wanted to show you guys the difference of each. The final step, enjoy your homemade brownies. That is what your brownies should look like if you were to use the normal pan. Some other factors that will contribute into the way your brownies come out is the 8-inch square baking pan. You need paper or aluminum foil, which that was also shown in the last slide. If you looked at the pan, I'll give you this idea. If you were to use this pan or the other one, you need to put aluminum foil down at the bottom or some kind of oil to make sure the brownies do not stick and you're able to get them out easily, especially with this kind of pan, because you will not even be able to eat any. You won't be able to eat even the meal. It'll be stuck in there. But anyway, so that's the first. Whenever baking, if you like yours a little bit gooier, or if you like them a little harder, you can use a toothpick inserted during baking time, so you will know if you need to cook it a little longer, a little shorter. If the toothpick comes out with a little bit of goo on it, then you can decide if you want shorter or longer. 20 to 25 minutes is just the standard. Everybody likes theirs different and has different preferences. An extra 5 to 10 minutes is normal. It just depends on your oven kind of thing. We talked about this earlier, but serving size is 16. So if you need to double it or lessen it or whatever you need to do the math on those measurements and you can figure it out. But after interviews, I found this recipe at www.inspiredtaste.net, which I mentioned earlier, that they ended up interviewing people to see if their homemade recipe made a difference to any box recipe, or if anybody told the difference. And out of all the people that they interviewed, they found that all of the people preferred the homemade brownies over the box brownies. So it really is worth the time and effort. Thank you.